So this panel discussion is suggested by Manuela-san. So she will be serving as a facilitator in this panel discussion. And yes, enjoy for the last content.
Thank you. So everyone, are you still awake? Yep. Everyone excited? Great. So let's go to the next or last talk for today. So I want to start with a question that we learned, and that's very, very important. So, あなたの好きなウィジェットは何ですか?
Yeah. Do I need microphone? Yeah, thank you. Actually, size box, I guess. It's just lightweight. How about you?
To be honest, I wanted to answer the same answer because it's the simplest one and so on. Okay, but I can't use the same widget, yeah, because we should be repeatable, yeah. Provider in the case.
Okay, consumer widget.
I'll be original, I guess. Someone asked me the same question yesterday, of course. So I answered overlay portal. It's a recently released widget. You might not be aware of it, so I would suggest Googling the documentation for it.
So Remi, now you can choose someone of the attendees to throw dash to, and you will answer what's your favorite widget, and you will throw it to another person and tell us what's your favorite widget.
Let's go in the back.
That's a smart answer. Text, super important.
Text widget from yesterday.
I wanted to say Cupertino button. I love the animation that like provides the iOS stuff. Obviously, everyone uses outline button that has the funky effect, but like iOS, I like the Cupertino. Oh, sorry.
The custom painter.
It was my third option.
Fancy.
I love it. Opacity.
Me?
Nice. So we got some questions. So let's start answering that. So, what's your favorite widget? We did that. What is your favorite Flutter target? Who wants to answer that? Maybe let's say it is it's which platform do you like the most?
The target platform, yeah. But my answer, you know, yeah. try to guess.
Okay, I would say web, because yeah, I have a lot of things I have to know more, and yeah, there are a lot of potentials, so web.
I wanted to say web too, so that's not cool anymore. What else then? What would be the second answer? I was thinking about it, but it's technically still web, right? Maybe let's be quick. Let's say Android then. Let's be classic.
We can consider Flutter for web with all different renderers, different compilers.
I would say iOS because my background was iOS, developing apps,
and there's a problem that team confused with the design, I guess, but it would be nice to have a communication with your team member with designs.
So we have another question, and that is how generative AI helps your work. Yes.
Actually, I practice my presentation with Gemini a lot. No, ChatGPT a lot. So I don't have a lot of vocabulary in English, so I just asked ChatGPT how to say this phrase in English, and suggest me some relevant words for saying these ones. I polished my presentation.
I use Copilot many times so that I press the tab button more than any keys of the keyboard.
So I would propose to use generative AI if you have problems like questions related to integrations. All of us like very strong in Flutter, in Dart, but sometimes if you need to do implementation of something natively and you're probably not sure if you're really familiar with, for example, Android, but not really familiar with iOS, and you like experienced enough to ask proper question and do it much more, get answer much more faster than if you Google it. And then you need only to check results, probably find the proper way, and so in this case, exactly if you need to implement kind of integration with targets that you're not familiar, generative AI is really helpful. They give you this fast opportunities to find solution.
I would say GitHub Copilot, like mentioned before. I think it's really good to help with common boilerplate. Like if you write a bunch of tests, it helps makes the process faster.
We even did small research in our company how generative AI can increase the speed of development, and is it possible to use native team with different platform to implement. For example, is it possible to use Android team to implement native iOS application? Just to transform Android native code to iOS native code using generative AI. And it finally works slowly than the real iOS team, but Android team was able to implement native iOS application using generative AI. Just upload Android code, then like do some iterations with the results, and finally, success.
So there's also a question to Remi, but I will skip it because I feel like it's gonna be a very detailed answer. So we will go, like later the person that asked this, please go to him and he will talk about it in depth. So we're gonna answer general questions right now. Which editor do you use? VS Code, Android Studio, or do you use something else?
I use Android Studio. It's just easy to use. That's it.
I used to be Android developer in the past, so I also use Android Studio. I tried to move to VS Code many times because it's much faster, but was unable. But now I would like to try Project IDX. Maybe it will be more easy to move to there.
Okay, I'm using VS Code with Vim extension, and I like to do everything on the text editing. So I'm using VS Code.
Let's be honest for a second. VS Code is the only correct answer here.
Don't worry, Sasha, I use IntelliJ. So, what do you dislike or would like to change about Flutter? That's an interesting one. Anyone have something already in mind?
I would say that the performance of build runner was a little slow for me. I think that's the app you use, the size of the app you're developing, because my app has like 150 more screens in my apps, so there's many models and any features, and that just increases the time of the build runner.
Yeah, time of build, time of static analyze. Yeah, so if you use linter for a project, yeah. So now speed is increased, but still, if you as big project you have, with increasing the size, the speed of analysis, yeah, not good.
Okay, setting up the environment for starting developing Flutter is helpful for beginners, I guess. So yeah, we have to install Xcode and Android Studio, VS Code and Flutter SDK, and we have to connect each other. And sometimes we have to install Java or some other tools. So yeah, that can be improved. And IDX is very nice, I guess, and I also recommend that one for the beginners. Okay.
Personally, I really wish Flutter Web could be good enough for most websites. I don't like that we're kind of restricted to apps. Yeah.
CO now in roadmap. Yeah.
So then, that's interesting. What is Flutter's future? Can we see in the future?
Future of stream. Yeah, I like stream more. Yeah, I think future is bright.
Yeah, bright.
Not quite Flutter, but I guess if we include Dart on it, I assume we're going to get macros soon enough, which is likely going to be a big change for the ecosystem. I assume many packages are going to start using some form of code generation to simplify things.
It's a close future, but the code push or the hot updates are very, I'm excited to see it. And there is a shortboard, which is I really want to try in my product. Yeah.
Nice. So we hardly hear of any cases of SLI, SLO in mobile apps, even in Japan. But are there any examples overseas? Anyone has an answer to that?
Yeah, in Japan there is. But I don't know.
No answer is also an answer. So, what do you think is the best made app in the world? Of course your own, but what is the second best?
Technically, the Flutter dev tool is written in Flutter, so let's say the Flutter dev tool.
Okay. Okay, I have one. The website of this FlutterNinjas website.
You're already trying to secure a place in the next conference, I see. That's an interesting one. Which one will survive? Kotlin, multi-platform, or Flutter? Spicy question. Who has tried Kotlin multi-platform here? Here in the attendees? Yeah, those two. We talked about that before. And in the back? All right. And one of you?
I don't say one of them survives, but maybe the both are growing up and compete each other and polished each other.
You know that there are examples when people used both of them together in one application. So Flutter on the UI layer, Kotlin multi-platform on the business logic layer, and native between. Yeah, and it works. But the main question here, why? Yeah, but so depends. Yeah, Android developers who loves Kotlin, that they really like Kotlin multi-platform and will use it. But in my opinion, yeah, the use cases of Kotlin multi-platform is really much more narrow than Flutter. Yeah, because when we apply Kotlin multi-platform, when, for example, we have already implemented Android application with implemented business logic, and we would like to create iOS application and not rewrite everything, but reuse it partially. Or yeah, we have a very experienced Android team who loves Kotlin, who will implement logic with KMP much more faster than or they just don't like Flutter. That's it. So a lot of cases, but yeah, if look at it at this question from business perspective, Flutter is more effective, of course, but in some cases, Kotlin multi-platform will be more effective than Flutter. So both of them have a chance to survive, and I suppose, yeah, both of them will survive.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not a war of frameworks, it's how to exist together and to choose the one that fits yourself the best.
But they can. But they can exist together even in the same application, yeah.
So, that's a also nice one. How does your testing methodology look like when developing your Flutter apps? Which tests do you write and why? Super important topic, testing. How to sleep well at night as a developer.
So, of course, it depends. It depends on requirements. It depends on everything. If you are talking about commercial application, then you implement for customer. But if we're talking about past implementation to increase opportunity not to get fault. So first of all, I would recommend use unit tests for business logic. And the fastest way to check that your UI is won't broken, it's golden tests. Yeah, you just generate the golden test and check. But yeah, there are some problems. Yeah, golden tests are generated differently on Mac OS and Linux. So for example, if you generate it on Mac OS and your CI/CD works on Linux, yeah, there will be problems. Your test will fault. So and even Mac OS with new chips and Intel chips generate golden tests differently. So if you in your team someone has MacBook with old CPU, this person should we will need to ask someone with new chip to generate golden test, but still it's the fastest way not to implement something by your hand. And then complicated cases, I mean complicated UI logic separately, not for all widgets, of course, it only if you really would like to check this complicated UI logic. And the last step, integration tests. So we have patrol, and we have integration test. And so again, integration test you can reuse for different purposes, not only for checking your business flow, you can use them for checking your performance as well, to measure performance metrics, yeah, different cases. But it's like next story, yeah. So it's one by one for increasing unit tests, then UI tests, then integration tests. It's like my approach.
I think Sasha said everything, but I would say that for the business logic, of course, unit test is I think the best, and for UIs, the visual regression test, which is a golden test, is good to do. And for end-to-end, in my team, I we try to write end-to-end testing much as possible because on device, like Android, iOS, and the OS version is it depends how it works, and if you're using the camera or the push notification, and there is many type of movement is different in each devices. So the Patros lay out a good package to use, and because the Flutter does not easy to test the Swift or Kotlin methods, so I think the end-to-end is also a very important test too. Yeah.
Okay, at first, I'm not very good at testing, as my colleague would know, but I'm now interested in golden tests as well, because the golden test, by using golden test, we can get the image of the widget, and it can be a document of how each widget look like and how it is used. It can be used. So yeah, I'm interested in golden test. I also try to do the unit test by separating the business logic and UI as a layer, and UI layer never depend on the business logic, and business logic can be tested by only unit test, not widget test. So yeah, what I'm trying now.
I would say a lot of good things have been said already. In the end, I think for most of the time, it's more a matter of how much time do you have. Because I think for most people, it's a matter of it's difficult to write tests, and we are in a rush, and do I even have the time to write tests, stuff like that. So I would say, at the very least, please try and write tests for the important stuff. You don't have to use complex testing practices, just at least try to test the important one. No matter how you do it, it will save your life.
The most important thing, not to write test because you want to write test. Write test when you want to check that everything is fine. Yeah, because sometimes I know there's like requirements from somewhere. You need to have coverage like 60%. Oh, let's write test just to get coverage. So it's not a good approach, in my opinion.
So we got a question about salaries. I'm not sure if our Japanese panelists can answer that, but what is the salary range for Flutter developers in Japan, categorized by junior, mid-level, and senior positions? Maybe we can have a poll at some point or something. Do you know that, or is it a question that's a little bit hard to answer? Yeah, because like salary ranges can vary from like, startups, big companies. So I think it's a hard question to answer, but maybe we could at some point make a poll in the Flutter community to check it out internationally, how much people are earning. So we can all stick together and get the most. Yeah, you have it?
Yeah. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but Stack Overflow regularly makes a poll for all technologies, and Dart is included. So it could be a good way of checking how much people gain from working on Flutter.
Thank you so much that we don't have to create one ourselves. Oh, best state management, of course, provider. But what are you using? You have to say provider. No, you don't.
Yeah, Remi is the best, yes.
I can't answer the question when I'm on the same table with Remi.
Okay, I dare say inherited widget and stateful widget.
Do I even need to answer? Yeah.
I mean, in the Flutter community, we can all agree, use the state management solution that works the best for you and your project. So war is not happening today. How do you implement the navigation in your Flutter apps? What packages do you use, if any? Navigation. Depends, or do you have a favorite package?
So yeah, of course, it depends. Depends on requirements, depends on the amount of platform you support. Yeah, for example, yeah, Navigator 1 by default that support deep linking and web navigation browser. So, but if you don't need don't have a target as web, you and don't have deep links, you should care about it. And if you like, for example, navigation simple, why not Navigator 1? If you have really complicated navigation logic, sometimes, for example, for a few projects, I implemented our own solution because it was easier in results than try to apply any of existing packages. If you have complication logic and you need to support many platforms and complicated navigation in the web. Web is the most tricky point here because you need to support this browser navigation thing. And for example, back button in browser and back button in your application are two different back buttons. And it's not only for Flutter. For example, if you check, I don't know, Gmail application and try to press back button in Gmail application and back button in browser, it will work. They will work differently. There is a GitHub issue for Flutter, and they answered this way. So check, it's not only for Flutter, it's like a web application behavior. But sometimes it's again about requirements. Customer can request, and I want to have the same navigation logic in browser and in your web application, and you should look for a solution. But yeah, it depends. Go route, auto route, the most common approaches. Yeah, auto route a little bit more flexible, go route a little bit more simple, but both of them supports deep linking and browser navigation. Or you can manually do something with navigation 2.0. Yeah, always depends. And your team, what your team familiar with which approach, and if you pressured by time and you need to implement faster, not to teach. Yeah. No? Somebody else?
It's a bit controversial, I guess, but I still use the Navigator 1 API. I think it's a good, how to say, it has a good developer experience. It does most of what you need by default. I personally haven't seen quite the value of the Navigator 2.0 API, and it brought a lot of complexity, so I still use the old one.
Okay, I'm using the mixture of the GoRouter and Navigator.off push and the Navigator 1 API. But it's not because it's the best choice, but because I don't have a lot of insights about another packages or another way of prepared in the Flutter framework. So yeah, it's my next target to read the inside implementation.
Yeah, I can just I can give example when Navigator 1 is not a good solution. For example, if you would like to control your navigation logic on business layer, and you send as a stream of states a configuration of your navigation state every time, and just simply transform it to navigation state. With Navigator 1, you need to do it imperative way, just remove or add. Here you can in your navigation delegate, just transform it and it will work much faster.
I don't agree, but afraid we won't spend too much time on it.
Okay.
Do you also have something?
I would say that I'm using Oatroot, but after that, the Go was officially supported by the Flutter, so that has a big impact on selecting the navigation package, I think. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking I'm snatching your microphone away and that's kind of rude. So I would say maybe let's answer one last question, and all the other questions, if you are here to the networking, just come to the speakers, to anyone, and they will answer it for you. My last question to the panel is, how did you like the conference?
This is a very complicated question.
In one word.
Much more complicated.
最高でした。Fantastic。
すごい。
Fantastic is fine, yeah, I agree.
最高。
Wonderful. Thank you so much to the panelists. Any other questions can be answered later. They don't run away and they don't bite. They're very nice. I know them. So also, Kay, thank you so much. And to all like the team of FlutterNinjas, I think a lot of amazing moments were made here. And thank you so much. So a big applause for the whole team, because I think they didn't get a lot of applause until now. So big applause.
Okay. So
Thank you. So we have closing ceremony over there. So please bring your all the belongings with yourself, or put the belongings to the cloak, please. So everything is, yeah.